Do you have standard segments? Do you create custom segments? How does that all work?
So we have both. We have a standard taxonomy that's broken out into three major categories. We have demographic, interest, and intent. And if you think of it from from a visual perspective, it's sort of like a funnel. Everyone has a demographic. Generally, people have interests, and then certain people have intent to do something. So that's kind of the breakdown. So in the demographic area, we have things like age, gender, income level, career, job type, those types of things. In interest, we have things like, probably one of the easier ways to describe it is we have auto owners would be an interest. So I own a Nissan or something like that. And then in intent, I have, in market to purchase a Nissan. And it goes in the same idea for things like CPG products, where things that you might be more interested in, that you're a general consumer of those types of products, versus, okay, I want to buy today an iPhone, and that's where it comes down into intent. So that's on the syndicated side. The taxonomy changes, not that frequently, so we'll have a few updates there of segments per month in those particular categories. We like to keep it a bit consistent because it makes it easier for the people who are targeting the segments to understand what those look like. If we make too many changes, it'll be harder for them to find the segments, and that would impact business. We don't want to do that. So that's on the Exalate Exchange side. We also allow branded partners to create their own categories for whatever purpose that they want. Examples of that would be like Nielsen or MasterCard or IXI or V12, where those segments are actually defined directly by them. They already know who their advertising audience is, what people are looking to buy. They have a very specific naming convention and what those segments look like. Outside of those two, we have the ability to create any custom segment that an advertiser would like. Generally in the exchange doesn't happen too often, because what people have the ability to do is combine our segments inside of the advertising platform that we're already integrated with. On the branded side, one thing that we have definitely seen for the last year or so is that those brands have the ability to create very customized segments for very specific advertisers and push those to specific platforms only for that advertiser. So we have the ability to do all of that, but definitely on the custom side, we're seeing it a lot more on the branded side than the exchange side.
So you spoke of things like age, gender, the demographics, the intent, and the product itself. Do you roll in any psychographics or behavioral things that might be a surprising attribute to your segments?
I don't think that we have anything that's necessarily surprising. We definitely have the most scale in certain areas, and that's why I think we do well, especially in things like auto and travel. Where we find things that are interesting is, so our core business is the exchange, and that's generally what drives revenue. But what we've done, because Exalate is really, we really only consider ourselves a data business. We don't really want to get into the whole world of everything else. We want to stay focused to that, is we built a lot of products on top of that. So we allow people to track individual events that we can create insights and indexes around. And what we've seen on that side, we've had campaigns, in the insurance area, we've had campaigns in the CPG area, and what's interesting is that since those events are all being tracked in real time, everything that we do is in real time. We don't do any type of batch components. We're always just getting calls into our system. On that side, we do see very interesting things. We've had some experience where a campaign will launch, we'll start giving indices and insights into say we'll see that this particular campaign index is very high for females, except this particular advertiser wanted to shift their structure more towards male. So they made some changes on their end in how they were trafficking the campaign, and our insights tool showed them day over day how much the index was shifting, or the overlap was shifting more towards male versus female. So really what we've seen, the more interesting components is looking at the data at scale over the course of a particular campaign. Related to that, we release once a week to our partners something called Data Snacks. That's looking week over week around particular events that happened that week or the week before to see, did we see particular types of trending in travel or something like that. We've seen in the past, very interesting things related to, say like the NCAA tournament, where you'll see a huge increase of flights to some place where you wouldn't expect to see, like Kentucky or wherever the Final Four is going to be that year, where you can really see immediately how things are driven. And another example of that was a year or so ago when the Boston Marathon incident happened. There was you could see a lot of traffic. I can't remember exactly what segment it was. I can't think off the top of my head, but it was interesting because you could immediately see it on the data side exactly how everyone was shifting to seeing what was going on at that time.